We've got this perfectly flat landscape surrounded by mountains, and then these ancient monuments that are themselves the only hills within the city.
I'm riding a bus from Seoul Gyeongbu Terminal to Gyeongju City. It takes 3.5 hours and I paid 33,000 won, which is a bit less than 20 euros.
I haven't looked at the map yet or anything, but I see a convenience store, Samwonbang, Simwonbang. So I heard there is a famous bread here, Gyeongjubang. So maybe I should try that.
For my first bread in Gyeongju, I didn't go for the famous Gyeongjubang or Simwonbang. Instead, I went to the bakery directly opposite me, which was selling Sogumbang.
Oh, it's good. Usually I don't like the Sogumbang salt bread that much. I feel they put way too much butter. But it is very buttery. It's when it's so fresh, it's still hot. The best Sogumbang I've ever tasted, but usually I don't like Sogumbang, so maybe, I don't know, does that make it better or worse? I'm really impressed by the traditional buildings here, that also all the new buildings, like this one, are still being built in a traditional style, where in Seoul it seems like they quite happily just tear down the older neighborhoods so they can build the high-rise apartment blocks. It's an ancient city, and it feels like an ancient city. Buongiorno. So Gyeongju is here in the southeast corner, and it was the capital of the Shilla kingdom, which until like 900 and something AD was one of three kingdoms between Shilla, Paekje and Goguryeo on the Korean peninsula. And I believe it was the first time Korea was unified, was under the rule of Shilla. So Gyeongju was also the capital of a lot of the Korean peninsula at one time. They have a lot of these, I wanted to call it a pinball machine. I don't know what the gumball machine. In Seoul I often see these with MBTI, but here they are sticking with tradition a bit more. And this one has the birth year animals, but also has the zodiac, and they've put English translations on the zodiac, but not on the animals. So they're trying to cater to the foreign tourists with that as well. Everywhere I've walked so far, there's been these, I think they're tombs, but see, there's one behind these trees, and there's another one up there. I know that some of them are tombs, but there's more than I expected there to be. So I asked the barista about this hill, and she said it is a tomb, but as they've never excavated it, they don't know who is buried here.
This model shows the construction of the tombs. They first built a wooden structure, including a box in the center for the deceased, and filled out all the space with large stones and gravel. Finally, they packed out the sides and the top with clay to create the shape that we can see now.
This is the first kind of standard urban street that I've ended up on after an hour or so of walking around. Here they are selling Seoul fashion. And they even have a Danish style cafe, so I'm going to enjoy a cardamom bun. And espresso roasted in Scotland and imported as roasted coffee, which is not common. So let's see how it is. The taste is good. There is some like dried fruit and marzipan flavor. But for 5,800 won, you could get some more complex coffee, because a lot of that cost must be going to, like, I mean, coffee in Scotland is more expensive than in Korea. So the cost of roasting and then bringing it here is higher than just roasting in Korea. If we're accepting the kind of logistic challenge of transporting roasted coffee instead of raw coffee, I would like to taste this roasted in Ethiopia and brought, rather than grown in Ethiopia, processed in Ethiopia, shipped to Scotland, roasted, and then shipped to Korea. Like, it's been to already 3 continents. It's traveled better than me. I've reached the kind of shopping streets, which have more of the kind of small city feeling that you might associate with a city of about 300,000 people. But if we look just to the end of this street, well, it's over. Exposure is not good. Down there is the more of those grass tombs. But you're never far away from that historical part. In the Shilla period, they built so many of these burial mounds. They've actually created this landscape throughout the city. The weather's starting to get hot, but I found this like air-conditioned box, which I've seen at kind of main bus stops, where it's kept warm in the winter and cool in the summer, when you have to sit and wait somewhere outside. But 20 meters there is one bus stop, but it seems to be just a place to cool down. They even have the power sockets. So I'm charging my phone a bit. I'd like to know what the story is behind this metamorphosis bust. So I'd be surprised if it's the same story, but I've seen another giant cricket thing nearby here. So this is Chomseongdae. It means the stargazing tower, and it's attributed as the oldest surviving astronomical observatory in Asia. It was built in the 7th century, and entry here is free, it's all open. And this is the main symbol that I've seen of Gyeongju when I was taking Korean classes and they were talking about places you can travel in Korea. They the example of you can visit Gyeongju and see this Cheomseongdae. It's quiet now, but buses are coming here and dropping everyone. And today is Friday, but it's still daytime, and summer is not really the peak season, so maybe if you come in spring or autumn when it's more popular to visit Korea, it will be more busy. Everywhere I walk, there's these specialty cafes, much more than I would expect for such a small city of like 300,000 people. But as well as that, I'm seeing a lot of old, like coffee roastery cafes. So perhaps there is quite a history of coffee roasting and coffee culture here. It's actually quite hard to find those kind of roastery cafes in Seoul, where the scene is like, maybe that's it's kind of representative of Gyeongju compared to Seoul in general. In Seoul they are changing all the time, but here they are holding on to the tradition much more carefully. So those more traditional roasteries have been able to survive until now. So it's a nice chance to try. 안녕하세요. 비빔국수 하나 주세요. 감사합니다. 배부르다. 디저트 먹자. 예스, 모히또.
카드 결제가 완료되었습니다.
So this is an artificial pond and the site of a Shilla palace, and they've reconstructed some of the buildings based on excavations they did in the 70s. And actually the scale model that they've made, they've just left it kind of wood color, but the reconstructed buildings are red and green, which is, it looks very similar to the Joseon era palaces. So I'm curious to know if that's like something they've added now, or if that tradition has kind of followed through the centuries. The temperature suddenly dropped, the wind has picked up, and there's some very dark clouds approaching. So I think we might be about to get this rain that has been forecast since 1 o'clock. I'd better find some shelter, I think. I guess that's a barbecue restaurant behind where they've had to put all the vents up above the roof. So this seems to be the hot place, as Koreans say. It reminds me quite a lot of Haewha in Seoul, but it's so straight and flat. So I can still just see the mountain over the top there. And on at the other end there is also a mountain. Wow. And it's hard to find a place where I can actually film and talk about it because there is music playing from so many of the shops. But there are plenty of cafes. And here is a like caricature shop, and they're selling tanguru, the like sugar-covered fruit. The Gyeongju-bang, or is it Gyeongju-bang? The 10won, like 10-won bread. Maybe it's a different thing. And as we reach the end of the street, there is a big mountain just towering over. And here, just like 50 meters beyond that street, it's like almost silent. And there's still the Hanok style, or I guess they are really just Hanok. We can see how they are constructing the Hanok. So there is a concrete slab and brick just at the bottom, and these blocks for these super wide parts going up. And here's another one with the parts are being delivered on pallets. 안녕하세요. 얼마나 걸려요? 이거 만드는 거? 4개월. 4개월? 4개월? 다르네요. Now it's, I mean, you can see the sun almost setting behind me. I'm on my way to Woljeongyo, which is a beautiful bridge, and I'm told it's even better at nighttime. So I'm hoping to get there just before the sunset. Maybe it will be busy. That should be nice. I'm here again at this street with the mountain that way, mountain this way, and I'm a big fan of Gyeongju, I have to say. I guess it's something that I felt from Seoul always, that I like the parts of Seoul that haven't been renovated yet, but there is always this feeling that they are gonna renovate them soon, and it's like the time is ticking while we can still see these, like the real Seoul, at least the 20th century Seoul. So it's really nice to see the amount of effort being put here to keep with the old style, with the new buildings as well, and renovate the old buildings. And I'm amazed how flat the city is. Like, it's such a mountainous country, and I think all the cities I've been to have been like with plenty of mountains inside, but here, like, it's this perfectly flat valley. So all, you know, you come to a more or less open space, and then all around you can see the mountains in the distance, but it's not obscured at all by small hills inside the city. And these are more of those hills that I was seeing the other day, that in the Shilla dynasty they were burying their royalty and noble people, each with a tomb like this. So we've got this perfectly flat landscape surrounded by mountains, and then these ancient monuments that are themselves the only hills within the city. So you've got this broad view of the natural environment, some ancient history, and the beautiful Hanok houses. It's a special place. 안녕하세요. So they're even farming here between the kind of most touristic street of Gyeongju city there and this kind of new build Hanok village, these new streets. So it was a reconstruction completed in 2018 based on the kind of general Shilla style, and from their excavations they found that there was a roof and there were these two gatehouses. There are records of the bridge existing from the year 706 when it was built during Shilla dynasty, and 1280 in the Goryeo dynasty. This is all open and free entry, and I think we can even go up the stairs, but we should go up this side. And there is an exhibition up here. So it's about 20 past 8, but the sun has gone down and I'm so sleepy. So I'm going back to the hotel and I will see you in the morning. So today is the day we try Gyeongju 커피 볶는 집, the coffee roasting house. So I've got two places in my mind that I saw. Hopefully they're open and I can find them. You see the guy up there taking a break from his mowing the mound. He's got a lot of work to do. And it's already warm. 안녕하세요. 이 머신으로 로스팅 하세요?
네.
I found this coffee similar to traditional European coffee. It was roasted medium dark. There was not that much complexity, but it was a comfortable nutty espresso with a lot of crema.
안녕하세요.
어서오세요. 여기 영어로 되어 있어요.
아, 네, 핸드드립도 하세요?
네네. 핸드들이 품목은
아, 네.
에디오피아 지금 아리차 있고요.
네.
케냐 있고, 과테말라 있고, 브랜딩 있고요. 아이스도 가능하고요.
에티오피아 따뜻하게 한잔
네네.
주세요.
가져가실 겁니까? 드실 거예요? 그럼 한국말 어디 잘하세요?
아, 아니.
공부하셨어요?
네, 이미 2년쯤 됐어요, 한국 가서.
어느 나라에 사세요?
영국.
어머요, 근데 한국말 공부했어요? 어,
네,
대박이다.
맞아요.
대단하셔요.
This was roasted a bit darker and brewed with more water than I'm used to in Seoul, but still within the styles of coffee that I've tasted there. The floral character typical of Ethiopia was present, but less prominent, with an overall character closer to what we usually understand as coffee taste.
So this was Gyeongju City. If you're coming to Korea or in Korea, I think you have to come here. It takes like 3.5 hours by bus from Seoul. It's a beautiful city with quite a different history to what you can see in the northern part of South Korea. And they've done such a good job of preserving the character of the city with all the like new buildings also in the traditional style and keeping the old neighborhoods there. And it's the first place that I've really been able to walk around among the older Hanok buildings and really felt some kind of, you could almost start to believe you were walking around in Joseon Dynasty time. And so, yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!